One day, Carmen was in her hall room, happy with a new container of honey that her mother gave her.
Hey guys, did you know that? I just got some honey from my mother and I want to make sure that it's safe from ants. Maybe if I surround the container with water, like a moat around a castle, it will be protected. But wait, can ants swim across the water? Oh no, what do I do?
We decided to go to the best source of information on the internet, YouTube.
Mishka, do you like Justin Bieber?
By linking legs, the worker ants create a living raft, supported by the surface tension of the water. Free now to move through the forest, these vicious stingers make the most of the flood.
These ants are so tough. Are ants in Singapore as hardy as them? We decided to test the hypothesis that local ants, Monomorium species, can swim and form assemblages in water. Our first experiment involves Ingwei and her setup, which has two containers, one containing honey only and the other containing honey with water.
My experiment setup has been there for so long, but no ants came. Why did no came? Why did no bother coming? No ants how to do experiment? Nobody wants me. Even the ants don't want my honey. I'm unwelcome across all Texas.
Our second experiment involves Reuben, which failed and only had ants infesting after the water evaporated. Carmen had some extra Gong Cha, which was too sweet for her, so she decided to leave it on the table to see if any ants came.
But after a few days, nothing happened leh. So I decided to place some of the sweet liquid on my table and drip some over the cup and the bottle. But at the end of the experiment, only a few ant carcasses were seen stuck to the dried up liquid. Without ants, we cannot conduct our experiment. On the other hand, I'm happy that there are no ants in my room and my bottle of honey is safe.
Though we have failed in recruiting participants in our experiments, as scientists, we had to strive on and try again. In our last attempt, Chao Xiang put honey and sugar into a bird's nest glass container, making sure that they are well stirred and not shaken.
So after the stirring, I added the water, and then we wait.
Seasons change, time passes by, as the weeks become the months, become the years.
Well, after 3 days, the honey and the sugar were still hanging around and no ants had swam across. So we will lay the glass back for it to chill and...
Seasons change, time passes by, as the weeks become the months, become the years.
So after a few more days, the water have evaporated, but only the ants were found in the glass. So our guess was the honey was too sweet and too sticky, and those who came can't go back to their nest to report to their comrade. So by this time we basically gave up and washed the setup. But then later that night,
Seasons change, time passes by, as the weeks become the months, become the years.
Success! Chao Xiang succeeded in attracting ants because the setup wasn't washed well. Ants were seen to be crawling all over the jar. But as there was no water in the washed setup, Chao Xiang introduced it to see their response. With water, ants can swim, but likely only for a short while. Those that aren't in the water seem to avoid it as best as possible. Another wave of water was introduced to get more ants into the water. clearly shows they can swim.
Wow, not bad, huh, Ruben? They really look like they can swim. Look at this guy paddling down here. Wow, another one swimming down there. They really like ATFI, huh? All can swim independently.
But do they form assemblages in water? Let's have more water! Unfortunately, the ants were more interested in forming assemblages on the grass, rather than in the water. More ways were introduced, but ants were still not forming assemblages in water, unlike the fire ants of the Amazon. But wait, that's not all that was observed. An ant that was not in the water was helping to pull its colony mate out from its watery dew. An act of altruism indeed, as the pulling ant may slip and fall into the water itself.
Wow, so touching. I want to cry already.
So on principle, these ants try to avoid water, but are willing to help those that are drowning in the water. This behavior was observed multiple times in a short period of time. This altruistic behavior definitely puts some humans to shame. So the next time you see another person in need, like this person falling through ice, help him. Or, if you see another species, like these puppies being helplessly abused and killed, please act.
Ruben, you can stop playing the video or not? So disturbing. I watch until I want to cry already. That little herbivore in our class who like to climb around, sure break down one. Skip leh.
Even other species, like this dog, helps us in times of need. Remember the ant and its helping hand. In summary, small local ants can swim, but would rather avoid going into water. Unlike fire ants, they do not form assemblages in water. Lastly, they actively lend a helping hand to fellow ants who are stuck in water. And your honey is pretty much safe with water around you.